All right, so maybe you have listened to our how to spend 15 minutes or less waiting in line for rides at Disney World, and that was our best generic tips to maximize your visit inside the park. But now we're gonna get a little more specific to what we actually did in each park. Now, this is our plan. You take it for what it's worth. Use it, don't use it. But want to show you exactly how we moved through the day to enjoy it and to minimize our waiting. So we'll start with Animal Kingdom. That was our first park on a Sunday. So keep in mind that was a weekend day and it was a busy day. But our first day was at Animal Kingdom. And we, per step one, we booked our fast passes in advance, and we booked Expedition Everest first. We had basically a 9:15 to 10:15 window there. We then booked Cali River Rapids, which was about 10:30 to 11:30, and then we booked Kilimanjaro Safaris, which was from 12:30 to 1:30. So not perfectly bumped up against each other. And again, remember you can't overlap them, so you do the best you can. But we had 3 fast passes within the first 3.5 hours of the park open, so pretty close to what we were hoping for. Again, on that Sunday, we arrived prior to the park opening. We took the Disney transportation system, the bus, into the park, and we got on to Discovery Island, waiting with everybody else before rope drop. And then as soon as it did, boom, we headed over to Dinoland as fast as we could, and it seemed like the crowd was moving along. And again, this was our first day there, so we didn't really know what to expect. We were a little worried that it was going to be overwhelming. We were a little worried that the lines were going to be wait for all the rides that we had that weren't fast passes. So we rushed over to Dinoland, and the very first ride we were going to ride was Dinosaur. We knew that was the most popular ride in that land, and we wanted to do it first. We got on there, and literally within 5 minutes, we're on the ride. And it was a cool ride. It was one of the kids, maybe the kids' favorite ride other than Expedition Everest at the park. And ride one down within 9:10, 9:15, we're done. We walked over to the little carnival type area within Dinoland and rode Primeval Whirl. It's kind of like the Goofy roller coaster at Disneyland in California Adventure. But anyway, it's similar kind of a feel. It's mostly for kids, but it was fun. Again, walked around. We didn't have a fast pass for either of these rides, by the way. It was standby, so both those rides were less than 5 minute wait time. So we walked on to Primeval Whirl and rode it. It was great. Then, because we were in our fast pass window, since our Expedition Everest fast pass was till 10 a.m. By that time it was 9:30 ish, and we thought let's walk over. And as we walk into Asia, Everest is the first ride there, so we ran and got on that. Waited probably maybe 10 minutes. I don't think it was that long even in the fast pass line to get on Everest, and rode Everest. And that was a great ride. The kids loved that one. And so within the first 45 minutes of the park open, we've ridden 3 rides. Felt really good because, again, this being our first day on Disney property, we didn't know how it was going to work out. And we were really excited that literally it had gone exactly as we had mapped it out. At that point, we still had about 45 minutes until our fast pass for Cali River Rapids opened. We were lucky it was going to be a hot day, and so even at 10:30, Cali River Rapids, you get wet, no big deal. But it didn't even open until 10:30, so we had a 10:30 to 11:30 window for that second fast pass. And so we walked over and we did the Maharaja Jungle Trek. We took our time doing that. We looked at the animals. My oldest son really loved the gorillas that they had sort of this really neat area for them to climb on. And so we spent a good 30-45 minutes just doing that, shopping, checking out whatever was on the side, and just felt really relaxed, to be honest. By that time, the second fast pass window we were into it by a little bit, and we rode Cali River. For a fast pass, that one took a little longer, maybe almost 15 minutes, 10 to 12 minutes probably, before we were on that. That was, it's not my favorite ride, but sure glad we had a fast pass for it. and we're on and off by before 11 a.m. for sure. And so now we've gotten 5 really big activities at Animal Kingdom done before 11 a.m. For us, we typically like to eat early anyway, but this was a strategic thing as well. We knew that we didn't want to fight crowds anywhere, whether it was for the rides or to eat. And so we had heard really good things about the Flame Tree Barbecue, and so we headed over there at 11 o'clock, and it wasn't busy at all when we got our food, right? So we ordered, sat down, started eating. By the time we were done at about 11:40, the lines were massive, and we knew that we had done the right thing. So again, doing things outside of the normal is really helpful. And so we ate early, got done early. By the time we were done with our lunch, we were able to walk over, and it was close to time to doing the safari. So we kind of just fiddled around until that opened up, and we wanted to do the last fast pass early in the window because we wanted to be able to book another one. And so we did the Kilimanjaro Safari, and while we were waiting to do that, I booked our last fast pass at the Finding Nemo show for the last show of the night at 5 o'clock. That was pretty much all that was available, by the way, and you're not going to find a lot of fast pass availability on the day that you're looking for it. Just as an FYI, especially if you're a Disneyland veteran, it's totally different. So we rode the safaris. It's a long ride, fun ride. My wife and I had done that, I don't know, 12 years ago when we were there. I guess it was 13 years ago now, in '04. But super neat ride. And by the time we were done with that, we walked over to the Festival of the Lion King, and it was just before 2 o'clock. By the time that show was starting, one show was ending, so we walked into the line, and we waited probably 15 minutes for to get into the building to watch the show. And what a great show the Festival of the Lion King is. I mean, that is amazing. And that's not one that I would necessarily recommend a fast pass for, because you're not going to get in much faster unless you're trying to come in right at the last second before the show closes, because you're sort of guaranteed a spot. But anyway, great show. And so by 2:30, we had finished The Lion King. And from then, it really got relaxed. We walked over to Discovery Island. We saw It's Tough to Be a Bug. We just relaxed and explored Discovery Island itself. Just enjoyed ourselves. At about 4 o'clock, we headed over to Dinoland again, knowing that we were going to see the Nemo show at 5. We looked at the My Disney Experience app, noticed that there was no wait at the Primeval Whirl. Again, not the greatest ride in the world, but it was fun. The kids liked it, and it had like a 10-minute wait. And we walked over, and it turned out to be even less than that. So we did that one again. Still had time to kill. So instead of just doing nothing, we found this place called the Boneyard, which is just a park-like play area, like you would find, near a school, but it was, bigger and better than that. And again, the kids just ran around and played and jumped and climbed the rope net, the rope ladders and whatnot. And I just got to sit back and watch them do it. So that was fun. At 4:45, we got in the Fast Pass line for the Finding Nemo. The Fast Pass line was definitely long. We still waited, about 15 minutes because the show started at 5. And by 5:30, the Nemo show was awesome as well. By 5:30, we're done, and we had accomplished everything that we wanted to at Animal Kingdom from 9 a.m. to 5:30. And as we're leaving for the day, two things. Number one, our youngest son really wanted to ride Expedition Everest again, and in a way we should have, but the standby time was like 40 minutes, and even though it's not too bad, it was longer than we wanted to wait for a ride. And but as we were thinking about it, one thing we didn't really know or expect coming into the day was that we were going to enjoy the shows so much, whether it was the Festival of the Lion King, or It's Tough to Be a Bug, or Finding Nemo. They were all awesome and well produced. So again, we spent a good long full day at Animal Kingdom, did everything we wanted to, never felt rushed, ate really good food at the Flame Tree, and never waited more than 15 minutes for anything. So that was our experience at Animal Kingdom.